and he's got a big titty batty elf girlfriend.
Could have been an email. Yeah, it really could have been a text. Could have taken. Yeah, but there's so much knowledge of the books, Jay, in particular. Like, do you think they did a really good job of it, though?
I want to ask your guys' opinions too. I'm just going to take the reins.
Just take it.
If you want a drink.
Yeah.
3-4 days.
Yeah.
And you're there and you're buzzing. Come on, lads. And there's a lady there with Pip. Okay, forget it. Mary. Weird, but okay. I'm so ready. I'm going to get that one.
What is going on, guys?
Stuart.
I knew it. And the thing is, at the start of every one, I have to really get my...
Yeah.
What is going on, guys, and welcome to Talk Bits. This is a podcast brought to you by the 4-Bit crew. If you have liked, commented, or subscribed, thank you so much. We see you out there, and we love you for it. And if you're brand new here, consider doing one of those things because it helps us out massively. You guys are in for an absolute treat today. Let me tell you why. We are doing a Lord of the Rings special, okay? Best orc impression? Okay. And then we've also got some very special guests with us today. Cameras, go to the boys. We have got JT, who you've heard us speak about before, and Mujtaba Pasha on the pod, killing it. Thank you. So, guys, let's start with you guys. Why do you love Lord of the Rings so much? What is it about Lord of the Rings that you guys love?
What do I love about Lord of the Rings? So, I love the world it takes you in, right? So we grew up with, not to make this a Star Wars poddy, but the films that came out when we were kids, I loved them, but I needed something more, right? 2000 hit, and then I just see a trailer of Aragorn and Gandalf, and I thought, this is amazing. And then it just took me on a journey, and still to this day, I wear the One Ring.
There it is. We'll zoom in on that.
So, yes, I'm very good looking, and I don't look like a nerd. But Lord of the Rings is literally on me all the time.
You might have already seen Pash as well in our Comic-Con videos. Yes, so he helped us out a lot, so we appreciate that.
I saw a lot of you.
Yeah, he did.
I did.
Wait, when is this, date-wise? When are we right now?
This is quite late, you know. We've got like a month or two.
Is this like November?
Roughly, I think, yeah.
Because it might also be in the Ghost Bit video.
Oh.
It might already be out. If not, it's out.
But then is time, what do we mean by that, Let's get into that.
What is time?
Let's not.
We're pushed for time. Yeah, absolutely.
And then JT.
For me, I think we must have been about 8 or 9 when the first one came out, The Fellowship.
Was it 2001, was it?
Yeah, around that time. And I just remember the films came out around Christmas, around my birthday as well. So for me, it was like a big thing. And then just seeing that first one, like Pash said, I was always been a massive nerd. So to see orcs, wizards, swords.
What more do you want?
Elves. It's got it all, really, hasn't it? So, just great films. And like they're 3 hours long as well. You can really get stuck into the film. So
these guys have got a lot of knowledge when it comes to Lord of the Rings. So hopefully that will all start sort of coming out as we go through the podcast. But guys, really quick off the back of these two, what do you love so much about Lord of the Rings?
I remember the first time I watched it properly.
You were late to the game, weren't you?
I was really late to the game, And I remember
that's poor.
We had
that's so rich, isn't it?
That's so poor.
We had like a pizza night round my house. I think Stu was involved, Tom Woods was involved.
Why are you laughing?
Yeah, mate. We had Tom Woods involved.
I remember that.
Who else we have involved? I think might have been Jack. I have to dig the photo out.
I was there.
Was you?
We are friends, believe it or not.
Well invited.
It was one of those classic all-nighters. Like, come on, let's watch them all.
I don't think I even knew about this night. That's how invited I was.
Yeah. You must have been invited.
Didn't make the cut.
You just didn't prioritise it. It's fine, mate. It's fine.
Probably not.
It's life, man.
Come on, Jack.
For me, Lord of the Rings is so special because when you first watch it, this is how I always categorize like how special Lord of the Rings can be over many, many years of viewing. Because when you first watch it, you think Boromir's the bad guy. You hate Boromir. Fuck Boromir. And his friends. Right? And Gondor. When I first watched it, I was like, no, not Gondor. But I hate Boromir. He was trying to take the ring. That's how I spoke, right? Because I was younger.
Oh, yeah, I see.
I
like how you transitioned into that.
The wing. He tried to
He's just playing.
I thought you were having a moment.
Yeah. So, and then as you grow older, you grow a different appreciation for things and like actually the understanding of what's going on in the background and what it means and the weight of it all. So like when I was younger, I was a Legolas fan. I hated Boromir, all this sort of stuff. But now that I'm older, Boromir's an absolute Chad, a Giga Chad. Like he's gone through so much. He has so much expectations and weight on him from his father and from Gondor and everything. And yet, he succumbed to wanting to get the ring, but then he redeemed himself. And, Legolas is cool and an elf and whatnot, but let's be honest, the one you want to be is Aragorn, because he's got the responsibility, and yet he takes it up, and he's a ranger in the wild, and he can also speak Elvish, and he's got a big titty batty elf girlfriend.
I was gonna say he's got all the girls in Middle-earth chasing
literally. So I think serious note, what's really cool is this concept of you'll watch it back through the ages and you'll get something new from it every single time, in my opinion.
Definitely. When Boromir is obviously dying and talking to Aragorn about basically admitting to trying to take the ring from Frodo, I really like that scene, and absolutely what you just said. When you're younger, you just want to see people get shot by arrows and people get attacked and sworded up and stuff. That was a bit sus, sorted up. But anyway,
Hello.
But when you actually rewatch it, and then he's like saying to Aragorn, he's clearly devastated with himself, and that was like his last dying breath, near enough, wasn't it? Telling him he tried to take the ring. So yeah, definitely. Boys, Nath, have we heard from Nath?
Yeah, I think you guys covered it all.
Cool.
To be honest, yeah, I won't add to that.
Okay, fair enough.
No original thoughts.
No. Sheep.
Sheeple.
Guys, say there's someone who has never seen Lord of the Rings before. So they're brand new to the game, and you want them to get into Lord of the Rings, and you want them to be a big Lord of the Rings fan, similar to ourselves. What film do you point them to first? So do you want them to be going in from the beginning, or do you want them to be jumping into something slightly different to then rerun them, if you know what I mean?
That's a silly question.
Do you think?
Yeah. If you're not, you got to start with the Fellowship.
Yeah, it has to be the Fellowship.
Has to be.
And
no other answer.
I mean, I know you might be thinking like start with the Hobbit because chronologically maybe that did happen before.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if we'll get onto this later. But the Hobbit films were an absolute train wreck.
Yeah,
from
stick
start
with
to
it,
finish.
because we might.
Yeah, just go Fellowship.
Just do the order.
And just if it's maybe not your kind of genre. I mean, if you're into fantasy, I think you're gonna love it, aren't you? But if you're not into that thing, just stick with it. Get to Moria. I think if you get to Moria and you're still focused,
Fair enough.
Yeah, we've got you.
Yeah,
Locked
you're
in.
done.
Yeah, fair enough. The only
I
reason
think the Hobbits were alright.
I think
they're
the first
fun.
one was okay, and I think the other ones were
I
good.
really like Martin Freeman though, so I'm slightly biased. I do like.
Yeah, I do think Martin Freeman's performance did salvage it, but if you look at like the CGI and the editing for something that came out like 10, 12 years after the Lord of the Rings, it's actually like regressed in terms of the film quality.
Felt a bit more geared towards kids. I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's all a lot brighter.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Exactly
By
what I was going to say. My description of it was, it all looked a bit clean. Yeah. It didn't look gritty. And it didn't look dirty.
Like the orcs in the original trilogy, you can tell it's that makeup, not the CGI.
Yeah,
They're quite gruesome. And then the orcs in the Rings of Power, the CGI is really good, and they're really, again, really scary and gross. But then the ones in the Hobbit, they just look like, I don't know.
I know what you mean.
They look like if Disney did orcs.
I know exactly. If Disney, that's the name of this pod, by the way. If Disney did orcs,
They look like they've all had a good bath.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
They
they've all
all
had a
come
wash.
out quite clean,
Yeah.
ready for a scrap.
Yeah, they're meant to be born from the mud and grotesque and twisted, and they look all shiny and new.
Yeah. 100%.
Instead of meat, caviar's on the menu, boys.
With monocles.
Methinks.
Perchance, the caviar's on the
A
menu.
little bit of caviar, that'd be lovely.
While we're on topic of The Hobbit as well, and I was going to come on to it, but I'm going to bring it up a little bit further. It is the question of The Hobbit versus The Lord of the Rings, in a way. So what... Hang on, let's just let these guys... Yeah.
Caviar's on the menu. It's clever, mate. That's quick.
I think I already know the answer before we get there, but if you were to pick between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, what are you watching? I know it's an obvious question now that we've all said it.
Rewrite your script.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's in my script.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
I had to think
It's a
about that.
full house in it for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I think, and also The Hobbit was one book, which they then stretched out into 3 feature films. So they kind of went with the director, had a bit more free reign, and it just doesn't really follow. Whereas the Lord of the Rings was 3 substantial books that there's not much. If you've read the books and watched the films, there's not a lot that they missed really or went off. And most of the stuff they chose to leave out probably wouldn't have added anything to the films anyway. So
they left like the Tom Bombadil stuff out.
And the when they get captured by the Whites.
Yeah.
After Tom Bombadil, Frodo saves the 3 hobbits. It wouldn't really have done much.
It wouldn't have done.
It would have just dragged that first bit. And like I say, I think the first hour and a half of the Fellowship is the slowest part of the whole.
Yeah, I think the Tom Bombadil bit is, from a reading book perspective, is the most annoying bit of the books.
He's in the game, isn't he? That Battle for Middle Earth 2.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, he is.
I remember that character, and because I didn't read the books, I was like, "Who the hell is this?"
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
He's a really pointless character. He if he'd have like got off his ass and cared, he could have made the whole thing a lot easier.
Yeah.
But
who was he as a character? Like, what race was he? Who was he? For people watching who weren't so sure.
He's like the same. I think he's like a level above Gandalf in terms of race.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of him now, but he's like literally on the level of God level.
Oh,
right?
wow.
That's why it would have made the film not good, because it's introducing this concept of somebody that's like higher power than your Gandalfs, your Saurons, and your Sarumans, and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
he was like top, and his wife or whatever his partner was also really powerful, and he had like complete control over the nature and the world and the rivers in his area.
Oh, wow.
And like, yeah, he could just appear. If you sung a song, he would just appear, because that's what happened. Frodo sung this song, and he just appeared out of nowhere and saved them from these like ghost things in the hills.
But looking back for me, it just feels like all he does is sing.
Yeah,
in the book, that's why I find him annoying, because like it's like a cool concept of a character, but in the books he just kind of sings.
I think that's what Lord of the Rings is missing, the musical element. Absolutely, that could be.
That's what it needed.
It needed a few more songs. You know?
Yeah.
How many songs did Lord of the Rings have? It didn't have any, did it?
It had a few.
Yeah, there was Pippin,
so there's Pippin's
majestical performance,
and then Merry and Pippin done a few after.
I'm trying to think in the
Two Towers
great.
as well.
I'm thinking in the Fellowship.
And there's the one Pippin and Merry are singing in the hall after Helm's Deep.
Yes,
when they're all on the piss.
Come from the Green Dragon.
Yeah,
but it's not. It feels right.
Do
you know what I mean? It feels right. So like a good place for it.
They didn't need a dance number. You know? Didn't need that. Yeah. Get the jazz hands out. You know?
Gandalf starts doing the Michael Jackson
synchronized dancing and stuff.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
But yeah.
So off the back of that as well, so we've spoke about The Hobbit a little bit, and we've decided that it's rubbish, is the general consensus. No one likes The Hobbit.
Well, I didn't quite say
All
that.
right, okay.
I think there are people watching this.
I remember when The Return of the King had finished, and we got all the DVDs and stuff, and then, I just wish, growing up, I wish we could get more of this world. Now we're in a place where we've got the Amazon show and everything. But The Hobbit, I can see it from a studio perspective. Like, well, Lord of the Rings was amazing. We can get 3 films out of this book. If it was one film, and it could be 3 hours, 10 minutes, it still might. It would have been amazing to just have another film. But yeah, it's a cash cow. I understand why they made it into 3.
Yeah.
That's why it's kind of got an asterisk next to it. But I'm glad a film was made.
Yeah.
It's just that third film was just a big battle, right? And that never, plot-wise, it just doesn't add up. You know?
Add anything.
I like as I say, I like the first, because it kind of like gets you back into this sort of concept, and it like really helps you understand how him going on his journey and everything like that, and the setup, and it was all good. I liked the first, and I like that there was a scene where they were like doing all the dinner stuff, and it was all the the plates.
Throwing it around and stuff.
Oh, there's another song there as well.
I didn't like that, but I liked the part after where they all chilled out and then they're singing the Misty Mountains.
Yeah, it's a good song.
It's beautiful.
Great
songs. Actually, shout out to Ed Sheeran as well. That Icy Fire, that wouldn't have happened if we didn't have Hobbit.
When I think about The Hobbit as well, I only really think about the first film.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I don't. I almost forget that the second and the third exist.
The second is good just because the whole desolation of Smaug, and you finally see him. Like I think it was the end of the first one where you just see his eye, isn't it?
Yeah, what's the one where he gets the ring? He gets the ring in the second one, doesn't he?
And you learn...
No, in the first one.
No, he gets the ring at the end of the first one.
Oh, okay. But he uses it to get out of the cave.
He uses it to escape from
in the second.
No, in the first one, he escapes
after the Riddles of the Dark.
And then he pops up behind Gandalf and the dwarves.
Okay.
That's right.
And then
Gandalf's
and then they all climb up the trees and
that's right.
get saved by the eagles.
Yeah.
You learn about the village as well. Is that the second one, like the village and the?
That's the good thing about the second one.
Yeah, the good thing about the second one is the
Bed and
concept of
everything,
the
I love
village,
that little town.
right?
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
town, that's
the one on the lake.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the arrow and that guy.
That whole
whatever.
story.
Yeah, that story is cool. That part's cool. But then the whole war stuff
Dale,
in
I
the
think
third
it's called.
film, not very good.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I've actually got no real interest like rewatch The Hobbit either though. So like I wanted to watch The Lord of the Rings again. I went to the cinema and saw the extended edition of Two Towers really recently. And I wanted to go and do that, and I loved every minute of it. But there's not a single part of me that wants to load The Hobbit up and watch that again. Personally,
I've one and done the Hobbit film.
Yeah, I'm exactly
I
the
must
same.
have watched the original trilogy 20
Yeah.
plus times.
Really?
Yeah.
I reckon I've watched it maybe like 5 times.
I'm the same as Nate, probably about 5.
Yeah.
I'm 20 plus, but I mean, Two Towers, Royal Albert Hall. That is the greatest showing
is
you'll
it?
ever see.
Yeah.
Live orchestra, and it was.
Yeah, that sounds
I bet the emotion is crazy in
I
that
mean,
room.
so many points which are. I mean, I'll probably speak about it more on the pod, but like the most, you know, when Legolas, Gimli, and Aragorn, they've had their argument and then they're chilling, and then what's that horn? It's the elves, right? Coming to Helm's Deep,
Yeah.
and then it's a bit of silence just for less than a second, and then they come in. The
Al-
orchestra
although
is
that-
incredible.
That
Oh,
never happened in the book.
Well, this is the thing. But there's a lot of that.
Really, yeah.
That's a great scene
the
as well.
the
But they
elves
got to
come in-
make it film.
Yeah,
you know?
because in the book, the elves were actually fighting another battle up near their ends.
Their
And,
ends.
and so I think
Stay on their turf, that's it,
Peter
yeah.
Jackson wanted to incorporate that, but also it then added a bit more spice to the
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great
to
scene.
the battle.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
That's
never
beautiful.
yeah. In the book, they like defended Helm's Deep against 10,000
Yeah, just
or
them.
to about 200 blokes.
Couple blokes. Yeah.
Couple blokes.
Throwing
Pulled
rocks.
Pulled that out.
Yeah. Well played.
That was good management. That was
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great little morale.
great
Rally.
management from the boys.
Um,
Get that for the England team.
yeah. Shooting at the time of the Euros, by the
Could
way.
you imagine
Let's get
Aragorn?
Southgate. Southgate. on
Southgate. Oh, don't
Southgate
please.
at
I'm here to talk about something
Write
I
it
love.
out.
Yeah, but he's been sacked since we went out of the semi-finals, isn't he?
Or we are the European champions, and Southgate has rode off into the
We
distance,
did a few different
much
takes
like
and then just put the
Frodo
right one in.
in the Fourth Age.
on the first light of the 5th day.
Yeah.
Look to the east.
Southgate and his waistcoat. Yeah, people
his tie
people
and
could be watching this. We might be the winners of the Euros.
Ethereal light behind him.
There's the thumbnail, boys.
Holding Gandalf's hand. That would be brilliant.
Gareth
I'd love to
Southgate
see that.
Yeah.
on Shadowfax.
Yeah.
For all of our international listeners out there that don't know, Gareth Southgate is or was
Nice. Yeah.
the manager of the England football team.
Perfect. And we're going to spin off of that onto a game. If you are brand new to the podcasts, here on Talk Bits, we play a game called Closest Wins. It's really, really easy. I ask a question, the boys guess, whoever guesses closest wins. So if you can pass the ball
And
to...
it's always a bit of fun when you know the answer as well.
And it...
Because most of the time you don't.
I've got... Well, it's funny you say that. This answer's got a little bit of a bracket to it.
See what I mean?
We'll stick with it.
It's always vague.
Yeah, it is a bit vague.
Never know.
It's anyone's guess.
I make them up.
Could go either way.
Who are
Honestly.
you having a go?
Yeah, I'd still get it wrong. Yeah, that's why it's here. So, the question, which is obviously Lord of the Rings related, and this is not going to go towards the overall score because of our special guests, but if you are interested, Richard is one set, and one game up. So, one set, one game, 0 to everyone else.
I haven't had my prize yet.
It's coming. Don't worry.
I
it's
haven't had
coming.
it yet.
I've forgotten, admittedly.
Yeah, you have.
Guys, this
Pause on that
massive
one.
pause on
Massive
that, actually.
pause. Huh? Yeah.
Guys,
Don't want to walking straight, are you? No, don't worry.
After the accident.
how? The question is, how tall is Treebeard? It is in feet.
I used to know this.
It is in feet. How tall
Whose
is
feet?
Treebeard? Pardon?
Whose feet?
My feet. We'll say mine. In brackets, I have something to say. The exact height is not given, but the general consensus of the internet, if you Googled it, it comes up at the top. So this is the answer. Okay.
Where does he think of it?
Just
All the
Google.
questions you can imagine.
I try and make it as random as possible.
How tall's Tree?
I try and make it as random as I can. How tall is Treebeard according to the internet?
How tall's Gandalf?
I don't know that answer. Sorry. He's got to be about 6 foot, isn't he?
6 foot. He's much taller than that.
Do you think?
But he's always standing next to
like
hobbits.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Come on.
Anyone looks tall
We'd
next
look
to
tall.
hobbits.
Jack, you'd look tall next to hobbits. Yeah.
I would.
You would?
Ride the halflings.
What is it? What do you
Found
smell?
'em.
Man flesh. How tall is Treebeard? Please play along at home, obviously, if you have been. In feet.
I used to have the Lord of the Rings top trumps. I swear this
I'm
was on
ready.
there.
Oh, God. I hope the internet are right then.
I'm ready.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We'll start from our guests.
I got the
this
right
time.
answer as well.
We'll go from JT and we'll work our way around the circle. So, how tall is Treebeard in feet? Hit it.
I think I might have undershot it a little bit, but I've gone for 22 feet.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Okay.
Fucked it.
Undershot it. Okay.
I see you're 22,
Yeah.
JT, and I raise you 25 feet.
Oh.
You guys are going too, I think, too much.
I think you're going too little, guys. It's a massive tree.
Yeah, I think.
I think I've
Yeah,
undershot
but
it.
think about the hobbits on his.
Yeah.
Think about the hobbits.
Yeah.
On
Yeah, so
his
count how many
shoulder.
hobbits. 42.
42 feet.
Flipping heck.
Jesus.
Flipping heck.
I've seen Richard's board. You ain't seen nothing yet, mate.
Yeah,
Spot
no,
on.
my logic was Merry and Pippin are about 3 foot,
Yeah.
and I thought
Do
he's
the
about
math.
7 or 8 Merry and Pippins.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
I'm about to get so much grief. But anyway, carry on. The internet,
Oh,
sorry,
no,
not me.
think
I've got
I'm-
the answer.
I think
from
I'm
the
going to get the grief.
All right.
So 1,000,
Somebody-
isn't it?
somebody's gonna
If you've got
flame
like
you.
150 foot.
What? 190?
Rich.
Robbie off camera.
that
Google
storm
a building
off
that's
into the-
190
Eiffel
feet
tree.
tall.
No,
Yeah,
no.
no, 190. That's where Saruman lives.
In the tree, the massive trees
Yeah,
that step out of the forest, they're fucking ginormous.
That's the case, mate. He would have just flicked the Tower of Isengard.
Yeah. You can look at the top of it. Goodness me.
I've gone for 15 feet.
I think it's.
I've gone under.
No, I think
I reckon,
That's what she
I think
said.
it's between Nathan and Pash.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I think that
According to the internet,
was 28.
the answer is thought to be 14 foot.
Hello.
Wow.
Hello. I knew it. Top Trump saved me.
I love
There
being.
is
I
absolutely
love the
that guy.
controversial answers.
Look, I said this to you last time when we were talking about concurrent players on certain games. You got to fact check this shit, mate, because
Well, that
that is
is-
so wrong.
Fact checked.
But that
Correct.
is what
It's
the
not
wiki
wrong.
said. That's what's on the internet.
Do
That's
your
the
math.
wiki. The Lord of the Rings.
The wiki.
Yeah.
The wiki.
Google. Everyone, get your phones out and Google how
Yeah.
tall is Treebeard.
Think about how many
Where is it?
Gandalfs that is. That's
What?
two Gandalfs.
Way more
2
than
Gandhis. 2 Mahatmas. I don't know. He's quite short.
Treebeard was not that big.
Type how
Treebeard
tall
was
is
big.
Treebeard.
Treebeard
And
was
don't
big.
start trawling through. What does it say at the top?
No, I'm going on the
Oh,
wiki.
he's trawling.
I'm on the
Tree-
wiki.
trawling.
Treebeard was big, but he wasn't that big.
When
I
I
could
when I
fight
digged,
him.
I dug a little.
I could take him out.
When
yeah.
I dug a little deeper,
he ain't got shit on
I
fire.
mean, now,
that'd be
now
one.
that I'm seeing the pictures from the movies again, it's kind of like, yeah, right. But
when I dug a little
14
deeper,
feet, yeah.
it's thought to be between 12 and 20.
'Cause no
But
one- he's never
14 is
actually
the
measured
answer
himself.
that
Yeah.
is
Okay.
shouted about.
That just
So-
doesn't make any sense to me. He's a ginormous tree. Like trees are not.
The thing is,
15
though,
foot.
when
We're-
he's
we're,
It does-
we're about 6.
he's an N,
That is
yeah.
short,
it does say that he's actually shorter than a lot of Ents.
Does it?
Yeah.
Didn't go that
Okay.
far.
Yeah, mate.
I love it. I knew as soon as I was going to say that answer, I was especially going to
I
get
need
Nate
to
because
keep
he's
it
done it
below
before.
25.
No,
West
this
of
is
it.
bullshit.
I just remember it bigger in my head.
Oh, think about
Uh-oh.
think about
That's what I was thinking.
obviously
I was
think
waiting for
about
someone to
Merry
go
and
for it.
Pippin on his shoulders,
He
but
was
also
always
think
talking
about
in the middle of
them in his hands.
Yeah, think about it, man.
They
Take-
do
take a
drink
sec.
that water that makes them grow as well. So
They do.
pre or post.
Who knows?
Pre or post
Nourishment.
drink. Pre or post
Flaccid.
What are you talking, SJ?
What would 190 feet be in comparison to a building in Lord of the Rings? Like, what would that?
So we're looking
Is
at
it like the Tower of
Gareth
Isengard?
Isengard.
Yeah, like I say, just gonna rugby tackle the whole.
That's
whole of
massive.
Isengard.
That would be epic, though. What scene that would be. This is a perfect point to hit our break. So stick around. Come straight back. We've got more. Look, you can't say
Wait,
come
hold
on.
on. I think Jack's got an objection to that shit.
Yeah. go
No,
on.
no, we can break.
Okay.
Can't say come on this podcast, guys. You just can't. Anyway,
Why?
guys, stick around. Far more Lord of the Rings-esque stuff heading your way.
actually nailed that.
We're out the field, training to be on the next England squad. Don't worry about that. We are there. It's a bit wet around. He doesn't have the right shoes on.
Oh! Not bad. Oh, yes!
Come in.
Relax.
Tranquilo.
Guys, what is that? Oh, keep in, Jack.
We're a professional team, guys.
Always.
Just chill out,
So
please.
pro.
What's up? Oh, lovely.
Yeah, big fan.
You said it again. It's up.
So we finished up our day of filming. It's been a really good one. One thing we have found out though, Nathan's actually he can do a nasty pass, mate.
Yeah, mate, I used to play five-a-side with a work clock for about 2 years, so I'm honestly not really that bad anymore. Pass.
Rich, I'd rub that out. I wouldn't claim that at all.
Yeah, get rid of that, man.
He's owning it.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talk Bits, a podcast brought to you by the 4-Bit crew, along with special guests, and it is a Lord of the Rings special. We found out that Treebeard is or isn't 14
Larry
foot.
Bird.
He isn't 190 foot, but he ain't 25, whatever. But it was good.
Wait,
that,
who
by
won?
the way? Hike got 15 foot, very close.
What
Very
is the
close.
score for this round?
So, well, Hike 1, everyone else 0.
No, what? There's no points yet.
No, he said because there's guests.
Special guests. Because there's guests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't listen, honestly.
I literally
Thank you.
always
Thank
win.
you.
I-
Two of these.
Do you know,
yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I actually don't. I really don't.
Selective hearing.
I always win on these special guest podcasts. Honestly, I never win on the. Well, I do win on the other ones because I'm really good.
Did you get their medals? Or did you apply for them?
Nah. Must have left them.
Honestly.
So, favourite scenes in Lord of the Rings is where we're going next, and this is going to be a very big question, and we could go on for a very long time because there are a lot of fantastic scenes in the Lord of the Rings. But when you think back, and you think back to every film, what scene, someone says to you, Lord of the Rings, and you close your eyes, you're there, you're like this. What scene can you see when someone said Lord of the Rings?
Got it, mate.
Go on.
It's when they blow up Naboo.
Naboo, yeah, nice. When Naboo gets blown up, cool.
I like the sex scene between the elves and the dwarves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're coming together.
Must have missed that.
Was that was part of 2, wasn't it? The extended cut. Oh no, that was. Sorry, that was a different site.
Okay. This is very
I
grounded.
know.
Thanks, Jay.
Let's get back on track.
Sorry about
I don't know. I think as a kid, it was the whole Helm's Deep battle,
Yep.
and it's still epic. But
Ladders, bro. What?
for me now, it's a scene that every time I watch it, a tiny tear comes down.
I
It's
was going to say the same as you.
It's the one where Aragorn's getting crowned
Yep.
King of Gondor,
Yeah.
and the 4 hobbits bow, and he's like,
Hey.
"You bow to no one."
That is
stunning. That's
I was
a
gonna
good
say
shot.
the
It
exact same
is
No, that.
What a scene.
And the pan out and everyone
Yeah.
bowing is
Yeah.
beautiful.
on the
Wow.
top, and the tree is blossomed.
Yeah, blossomed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that line. It really gets me going.
Such a good scene. Yeah, definitely.
Good luck topping that, me.
Yeah,
I mean,
Pash,
that-
what you got?
Beautiful scene. Similar to JT. So the whole Helm's Deep experience was amazing. I'm gonna curveball it a bit. Right?
Go on.
So love the films, obviously. More in the ring. Rings of Power. Yeah, I'm going there.
Wow.
Okay.
This
So
is a curveball. Hang on, buckle up, boys.
very short,
I'm
right?
listening.
Okay, so when the actual, I think it's like Galadriel's seeing something and she sees what life could have been with Sauron. And you just see in the water and you see a young Galadriel and you see Sauron. And I just thought, that is just a stunning scene. It's just so gripping, like what could have been. Because we know Galadriel, obviously that's a prequel and stuff, but we know Galadriel as she is now.
Yeah.
Like you never assume that she could have teetered. right? And then she's literally seeing this world where me and Sauron could have literally ran the planet. No spoilers on Rings of Power, obviously. But
yeah, you do see a bit of that in the film though when they arrive at Lothlorien.
Oh yeah,
and Frodo,
she's proving that I passed the test.
Frodo offers the ring to her, doesn't she? And you can see it.
And I will be a queen.
I found that quite scary when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
I remember when I was younger.
And when Bilbo goes to the dark side.
And then he starts breathing.
Yeah, that got me.
Got you good.
Still gets me.
Yeah. So yeah, a little curveball there.
Yeah, I like it. Boys.
My one's just that middle management orc approaching Saruman and saying like, "We haven't got the capacity, sir."
Very specific.
Trees are unreal. Their roots grow deep.
Head of HR. And then Saruman hits him with, let's take this offline.
Yeah.
Let's circle back.
He just analyses the situation.
Put it in the
very
calendar.
nicely.
Yeah, we'll look into that. Yeah, let's touch base.
Hold on, let's double click on this issue. So we've got a production issue.
Yeah.
We need more resources. There's a forest over there.
Let's go after the low hanging fruits.
Yeah.
On the trees that we've put. Let's really circle in on that. Yeah. This could have been an email.
Yeah,
It really could have been.
I walked up all them stairs. Could have just dropped me a message.
Drop me a line. I'm always a fan.
I love it.
Just pops up on his Palantir.
And it comes with the orc's face, like. Oh, this guy again.
Oh, good.
I love it. That's my one.
Very specific.
It's so good though, but it's so.
There's more.
Oh wait.
This could have been an email as well.
Social media has just made it so good because it's like saying about like how the situation's been analysed. It gave him like the orc was like sticking up for his men and like almost like a union rep. We need longer breaks, sire.
You know they've all like pulled straws. Like, who's going to speak to it?
Yeah, someone's got to do it.
Someone.
Go on, son. Don't do it.
Here you go.
Jack, what were you going to say?
Well, similar to what Jack was saying earlier about Boromir and what Pash was saying about Galadriel. I feel like all these scenes kind of are the same scene in a way, but like the final approach to Mount Doom, and when Frodo's standing over the lava, like
and he turns as well.
Yeah. It's just all these scenes where the ring turns people.
Yeah,
they're just so well done. But for me, it's the Frodo one, and including the approach. I know it's not one scene, but like kind of putting that all into one. Like it's just when they show the struggle.
Yeah.
It really hits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
want to ask your guys' opinions too. I'm just going to take the reins.
Just take them.
Do it.
You want a drink?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, like Jack said earlier, I was all about Legolas, Aragorn. Yeah. I used to hate Frodo and Sam's arc as a kid. I just thought it was really painful, really slow. But as I got older, I get more and more invested in their struggles and their adventure.
Yeah. The emotion that they portray is intense when you get older and you see what they're going through together.
Yeah.
You connect more.
For sure. Yeah. You feel the burden of the ring. I remember back in school, Stu, you and me, with a little bit of water left. we'd share a bottle. Mr. Frog. Let's go, everyone. Just thought of that when you sip it there. I was like, that's a lot of water. That sounds like a... Yeah. And then you'd pull the lambda spread out. It was great. Which is just a square or something.
Yeah. Very lunchable.
Yeah. There's a lot of good scenes, a lot of, that we brought up already. I think the one that I'd like really solidify people watching Lord of the Rings into though, like give them the atmosphere of what Lord of the Rings is.
You just did it there. You really drew us in.
Yeah, I drew you in, yeah. Is the introduction to Aragorn when he's in the corner of the inn smoking a pipe with the hood on. And then, I was waiting for his time.
I love that. That's why they're here.
That's why we're here, man.
Well, the thing is, I didn't want to say Prancing Pony because they were told to meet at the Prancing Pony, but they went to a different inn, right?
Well,
or did Aragorn take them to the Prancing Pony?
He took them somewhere else.
He took them somewhere else because the Prancing Pony was known to the riders, right?
Yeah, and they had special rooms for hobbits. So then he took them out of them
Yeah.
into the ones.
So I was just a bit like, oh, do I say
Oh, with
prancing
the
pony?
pipe and everything.
Yeah,
That's
with
a
it,
great
so
scene.
so
what an intro.
That scene when they're in the prancing pony, there's all the atmosphere, but then it quiets down a little bit, and they're talking about who's the man in the corner, and it's like, oh, they just call him Strider, and he's got the hood on with the pipe, and that atmosphere is very something that I'd be like, look at that scene. That's Lord of the Rings. It's it's not this big grandiose scene. It's just a moment, and where I think the atmosphere is just right to be like, who is this guy, like sort of thing. But then you learn very quickly that he's a chill dude.
Yeah, I think to add to that as well, in that exact same scene, they then sprinkle the tiny little bits of comedy throughout there. Just the guy comes over, he's like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
This is my friend. Is a pint. I'm getting one.
I'm getting
one. But Jack's right. Like seconds before that, there's this very mysterious man, and then just comes over with a jug as big as his head.
It's a pint. But that's one of the things. It's like it's got the comedy
I'm getting
aspect.
one.
It actually gets you into the Merry and Pippin character a bit more as well, because we haven't known him for too long and everything's like
just doing dishes and stuff.
It's
like
just
this was
it's just building up to it, and it's all there's so many bits in that and then obviously after that it's all the Rafe scene where you think they're getting stabbed and everything, but it's actually somewhere else.
In between there, what I like about that scene as well. So obviously we've met Strider, and then they've done it so well to introduce that this is an important character to us, and then they kind of move on and talking, but then Frodo's sort of getting in the zone, and then he hears Pippin talking. Oh, I know what bagging is, and he's saying, second remove on my mother's side and all that. And then the energy, Frodo goes over, and then like that, I remember that in the trailer, the way Frodo falls and then the ring, and then Strider takes him, and then that's when you realise, okay, this guy's important, really important.
Yeah, intro them so well, really good build up.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it after this.
Yeah,
I'm just sitting here like I'm really keen to watch it.
I would say though the from them leaving the Shire to getting to Weathertop, and even further to the Elf Kingdom.
Rivendell.
Thank you. Mine went blank.
Of all the ones to forget, you remember so many good ones.
That period of time is the most deviated from the books.
Okay.
In the books, there's a lot of different stuff that happens. Like Merry already went ahead and met them at the river crossing at the Brandywine River.
20 miles away.
Yeah, because it was just
like his uncles that he went ahead to meet.
Yeah, it was just the three of them.
I can't remember.
And then in the films, when they bump into Merry and Pippin in the field and they've stolen the vegetables and they're getting chased by the farmer, in the books they actually go and spend the night with the farmer. He's like a good friend of theirs, and gives them food to take on their journey.
Yeah, he knew Merry and Pippin as children or something like that.
Yeah, he gave them mushrooms because in Hobbit land, mushrooms are like the cream of the crop vegetable to have. Yeah, so it's very different. But then I'd say after Rivendell, it does start to line up very well.
Yeah, but it's just the pacing of movies.
Yeah. But, as I said, the whole first book, it takes ages before they get past Rivendell.
Yeah, but it's so much knowledge of the books, Jay, in particular. Like, do you think they did a really good job of it, though? Like, you think how they handled it was brilliant?
Yeah, and they couldn't have chosen a bad director.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson, he absolutely hit it out of the park.
They met elves before Rivendell as well. Like, randomly.
Straight, like, really early on.
Yeah, on the road, they were hiding from them, weren't they?
Yeah, and stayed with them for a bit.
Yeah. Loads of stuff happened.
My favourite scene has to be when the Rohirrim come over that hill, and there's the orc with like the weird face and the dodgy eye. He tells his army to form ranks, pipes in front, arches it back.
Is this Return of the King?
Yeah,
or Two Towers?
Return of the King. Yeah. And then they come shining down a hill, and you can almost see the panic in his face. He's like, shh.
Theoden's
and the speech.
Yeah, that gets me every time. And when they run down the hill and they're like all the arrows fly and a few of the horses go down, but they keep going and keep going. And then you can see in his face is like fire at will. It's like it's not enough.
I like in that one as well. There's like that really epic music in the background as they're charging, but then the second they collide, all the music stops
and then it just like
they just let the fight
happen. It's just raw
By the way,
action.
how annoyed would you be if you were one of them riders, right? you've camped, right? You haven't washed or anything. 3-4 days.
Yeah.
And you're there, and you're buzzing. Come on, lads! And there's a lady there with okay, forget it. Mary, weird, but okay. I'm so ready. I'm gonna get that one. Arrow. And you
Gone.
and
Or
it's not even you. Your horse
even
gets
worse.
hit, and you broke your
Even
leg.
worse.
Go on, lads.
Yeah.
I'll be there. Give it to him. How annoying would that be?
Oh,
That's
man.
why I wouldn't want to be front row.
Yeah. Favourite scene by far for me. That was good chat though, guys. That was really, really good. We're going to spin into a bit of gaming at 4-bit. We like our video games. So many Lord of the Rings games. We know that.
Yes.
Due to timing, we'll get one more closest wins in hopefully, but we'll see how this chat goes. Lord of the Rings games, what resonates with you? Think of a favourite. I was going to say Battle of Middle-earth 2 to get mine out.
Yeah.
I respect that, but Return of the King.
Playing that with you.
Southern Gate. Me and my brother would play that for hours. Just that, because obviously we completed it.
What type of game is that? Never played it.
It was third person platform
game.
game.
Co-op mode.
But you had in the home screen you had like the three trees.
Stories. Oh,
so one story
so
would
good.
be Sam and Frodo's story. One would be Gandalf, and one would be Aragorn, Legolas' story.
Yeah,
and you'd have like missions
And
from
Gimli,
different scenes.
Gimli,
never gets to
don't forget about Gimli.
And you did like combos to like different combinations to
rank up
like
and
kill them.
everything. And
Yeah, levels,
and then you get
yeah.
perfect kills, and it's so good.
It was
Yeah,
good.
it was
Honestly,
awesome.
Southern Gate.
Really good.
I've recently rewatched just people playing Southern Gate.
Yeah.
And that's not really my scene, but honestly, it was just the greatest. I don't know if you guys remember playing. Jack, do you remember playing Southern Gate?
Southern Gate.
The Southern Gate. So you're just about to get to Ministerial, but it's just like a Southern Gate, as they say.
It's hard to contend with his knowledge of it.
It's been a while since I played it.
I can't remember too many specific missions.
No, not the
I remember
missions.
I remember on the wall as Gandalf against the on Ministerial when they're coming up on the ladders.
That was and then what a game.
Yeah.
Can we just
For
go?
me, I want
Brilliant.
to throw in another contender, Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
Not as story deep, but the fighting system and the nemesis system that's in that game.
I never played it.
So basically in the nemesis system in Shadow of Mordor, you could go on a screen where you can see all like the war leaders, war chiefs, etc. And if you do certain missions to like kill them off, but like if you end up in a big fight and one of them kills you, they'll get promoted and they become a more elite war chief.
Really?
So the more and more you get killed, the stronger they become.
I've seen it. I've got a very vague idea.
It's not. I wouldn't say play it for the story. The story, in my opinion, is like you can skip it and not be too worried. Like it's all right, but it's not. That's not why you play it.
It's to do with Celebrimbor, though, isn't it?
Can't really remember because I skipped it.
Well, two other games I want to mention. I don't know if you guys played it. So Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. It was an RPG game. And that was.
I remember.
I was never really an RPG. I never understood. Like Final Fantasy was big, but it was never my thing.
It's like Final Fantasy combat.
But, oh my
turn-based
god!
combat.
But it was weird. Like
you play that.
and it was really
So
hard.
good. It was hard as
Really
well,
hard, yeah.
But they made new characters and stuff, but similar stories, and it was incredible. But it was weird doing RPG, but a Balrog standing there waiting his turn. That's the only thing. Isn't it? Like, you know, he's like, I'm gonna get you. Once it's my go,
You wait.
Well, you have to turn-based combat. You have to think of it as if you are seeing it. You are seeing a second in combat when your turn, but when it stops, it's like you don't. That's the combat. You have to think of it like it's going really fast.
Quick, go after.
Yeah, it's almost like in slow motion.
I'm sure you had like 3 characters at a time, didn't you?
Yeah,
or something along those lines. Yeah, that was really good.
Incredible.
That was a PS2 classic. That was.
I just want to mention real quick
I know
that
what you're going to mention.
I will mention it, but I just want
Please
to talk
do.
about the Nemesis system first.
Yeah.
How disgusting it is for them to have like copywritten that system.
Have that.
So you know that
it's
really cool system. The patented, sorry, not copyright yet. That really cool system about like orcs will like actually level up themselves and like kill other orcs to become territory members and all this sort of stuff and get better. And literally, it's like a full world. It's like a real world happening while you're playing the game. If they kill you, they level up, and you can have them on your side. That whole system is patented. So
What's the second game?
Other
Shadow of War.
Yeah, something like that.
Is the whole game PvE?
Yes.
Yeah. No
That's
other
really
game
interesting.
can have that system.
That's-
which sucks.
That does suck, and it's interesting actually. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
So it's like constantly evolving differently for every person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All different.
I love that. What's the other game, Jack?
Oh, well, I want to mention. This one is probably not the best game per se.
No.
But it holds a lot of memory to me.
Yeah.
is Lord of the Rings: War in the North.
War in the North.
Okay.
War in the North. You play as you can choose between a Numenorean elf or dwarf, and it's like top-down sort of game, right? Am I right in saying that? It's like top-down.
I think it was third person as well.
Yeah, but it follows the story of like these three that you don't even.
No, I think they made them up.
Yeah, they just made them up or whatever. And me and Pash, I just remember we were waiting. We got it. Yeah. We were waiting until like I don't know, school finished, college finished, whatever, and then we like literally did an all-nighter and completed it that same day.
Yeah, pizza and gaming, and we completed it in one go.
Absolutely smashed it.
Nice.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was that good, but there's a lot of memory.
We had a great time.
We had a great time.
That's amazing. We did it in one day. And obviously, you're a gamer. I like to take my time with these things, but you're like, no, let's do it in one day.
Yeah.
And it felt great.
Yeah.
Richo, got any? That comes to mind?
Just Battle for Middle Earth 2.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it back. Yeah, great game.
I thought you were going to hold this for me now.
No.
No? Oh, okay.
I'm not your stand.
Right, we are going to.
Oh, you're done.
Oh, he had so much more to say about gaming.
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, that's fine. Carry on.
As you would.
We've not. I don't think we've got time for another closest wins, boys. I feel like
we do.
All right, fine. You think we've got time?
I think we can just spin it quick time.
You're always super conservative.
Spin a quick time. We've got 8 minutes.
Let's not get sidetracked here.
All right.
Let's rock
Let's
and roll.
lock in, boys.
Closest wins.
Lock in.
This, I love this question. I'm really proud of this question. How many costumes were made for all 3 Lord of the Rings films?
Oh, that's a great question.
I thought it was.
Costumes.
Everybody.
All 3.
All 3 Lord of the Rings
That's
films.
probably like 4, 5.
Costumes. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is probably an obvious answer, but do the orcs count as one costume? Or do you think it's every unique orc?
No, I think every unique.
I think it's going to be every unique.
What do you mean you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be, judged by the answer.
Because if there's 10,000...
The thing is, though, like, they obviously have, like, so many with costumes, and then they must do some digital animation and shit.
Not all of them are real.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd imagine...
There was thousands of them. They
don't ruin the magic.
Of course they weren't all real.
No, honestly, like 30% of New Zealand, 30% of New Zealand worked on that film.
Saying it to us like...
30% of New Zealand?
Saying it to us like as if people didn't sort of know that.
That's not obvious to everyone.
It should be.
I know. Stepping down.
Within us, yeah.
We doing dark stabbies, boys, or is there a method to this?
We're getting sidetracked.
No. We're locking in.
Yeah.
We're locking in. Wait, do you guys discuss?
Just write it down.
All right. Let's write it down then.
Okay. How many costumes were made for all 3 Lord of the Rings films?
I put 600.
I've put 600.
Wow.
What's going on back there?
Same.
I think personally that they're miles off. I think I also might be miles off, but I think that is
You said that for Treebeard.
exceptionally low. No, I'm confident on this one. I put 120,000.
What?
Doubly the fucky.
Well, I thought I went big, but I'm happy. I think
I regret it now that I've shown it.
That happens a lot on closest
But not as much as 600.
I think I'm really close. I've gone 20,000. I've gone 20,000.
I went to 1,500.
Okay.
Can I just say, I know, I this is definitely off, but I think it's 5 figures or above. No way is it 3 figures.
No, I know.
I don't think it's 5 figures.
I think I
Maybe
actually think it's
600 for
probably
white
4.
chicks. I mean, it's got to be thousands, boys.
Yeah.
It has to be.
I think it's probably 4 figures.
The correct answer
2.
is 19,000.
Yeah.
Well done,
Very
Pash.
good.
Good effort. Good effort.
600.
Yeah.
Somebody in the comments right? Is this really the Lord of the Rings podcast?
Yeah.
Shout out
Watch
to your
that
fan
back.
base, man.
I guess you got to think of what that's made out of, though, because imagine for all the orcs,
Like-
like in the scene. Well, yeah, in the scene like where Boromir's getting shot with those 3 arrows, and all those orcs are in it.
Yeah.
I think all of them are obviously actors. None of that's digital, is it?
No.
No. All of them
no.
have got their own costumes.
Yeah.
How many is there? Like 50, maybe, just in that one little bit.
50 there alone.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
adding all of them up. Yeah, 19,000.
Wow.
Yeah, but you can even just think of the Prancing Pony. You're getting through
All of them.
another
Like,
30 people in there.
Easy.
The Shire
Easy.
will have 1,000 alone.
Oh yeah.
So
you're
that's
absolutely
one
right.
place.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually such a good point.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
fucked- we
600.
fucked it.
Yeah, that was super. It was super weird that you both put 600.
Yeah.
You
I
got each other.
I mean, let's look into
I
that.
didn't think.
That is weird that you.
19k is crazy. That's like a football stadium's
Yeah.
worth of costumes.
But that's sort of how I looked at it. I thought it would be a football stadium.
Yeah.
I thought that.
That's all I got.
I thought you had a bit there. I thought you'd find that interesting. That was really good.
Well done for winning closest wins on your guest appearance.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Good effort, Pash.
It'd be weird if I didn't sit here with the ring and then get all those wrong.
To be fair, I would like to put a little 4-bit vote as best Lord of the Rings knowledge to Pash.
No, he's got the books locked in.
Can I clarify? I think you're both top 2.
Yeah.
In my opinion, 100%.
Jack is livid. Oh, look at
JT's book knowledge.
He's been going mental.
No,
JT's been going mental.
Jack has no contest on you. So
okay.
No contest.
So films and games short.
Look at how insulting he is. No, you don't. You don't have any contest on them.
No, I don't. I'm not saying I do.
Well, he said it.
Oh, I thought you said he has no context on them as friends.
Context?
That's what I thought you said. That's what I was
doesn't
like.
even make any sense.
I don't think that's for him to say.
Yeah.
I think they've come very strong with, but like they've both had the same amount of knowledge. One from one perspective, and then one from the other perspective.
Visual learner, and then he's a reader. So I mean, I read the books too, but you're locked in. And he's a teacher. Check him out.
He is a teacher.
Yeah.
What do you teach?
Check him out.
Go to his school.
Lord of the Rings law.
OnlyFans.
Check out JT's
Purely Lord of the Rings law.
Yeah.
Kids will love all that.
People would pay.
People would pay. In the few minutes we have left, to our Lord of the Rings experts, special guests.
Loose.
It is loose. But
statement.
guys, there's a new Lord of the Rings film coming out in 2026, and it is called The Hunt for Gollum.
Yeah.
What are you excited? Are you excited? Are you worried? Do you think they're gonna? Should they just leave it alone? What are your views?
I'll watch it, of course. I'm not too excited. I wish they did either a series or a film all about the First Age, like Morgoth, the original bad guy, and all about how he came about and how like, the Balrogs were created because there were loads of Balrogs, and then the one that survived was the one that hid down in Moria.
Wow,
that would interest me because obviously we've got the Rings of Power, which kind of touches into like the Second Age, and I'm still waiting for a second series. But yeah, a film or a series about the First Age would be what that would really get me going.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
What was that? Oh.
Yeah. No, I would agree. That sounds great. I'd love to watch it.
Like how it all originated.
Yeah.
So they're kind of just throwing us in like
5,
tens of thousands of years after it all kicked off, and you get the glimpse of the battle with Sauron, and then the second Rings of Power. Touches more on that, but like Morgoth created and brought up Sauron, and he was the original destroyer, and love to know a bit about that.
I mean, for me.
10 seconds.
I'm very excited, but my take is more of this world. I'm glad Bezos is involved because he's a big fan like us, and he's just going to keep making stuff. The more Lord of the Rings, the better for this world.
Love that. That's an awesome way to wrap this up. The more Lord of the Rings, the better. Yeah. Thank you for checking it out. Thank you for clicking on the video, and click on the next one. We'll see you then.
For Gondor!
For Gondor! Check, Mike. Check mic one. Check.
Checking now. Checking
Checking
mic now.
Checking mic. Checking.